Welcome back to the Banking on Digital Growth podcast. I'm your host, Derek Kraus. I'm joined today by my co-founder, Ryan Harmon, to talk about something that I find very interesting. I made a prototype of what a ChatGPT banking app looks like. So while a lot of people are talking about the impact that AI is having on marketing and the discoverability of a brand and someone choosing to actually do business with a particular organization or financial institution, I believe the impact of AI is going to go far beyond that and go into the actual banking experience. So we talk about the implications there and show an example of what that looks like, and also talk about strategy and how you can go about taking some initial first steps in exploring how AI is going to impact your banking experience. Hey, Harmon, welcome back to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
Did you get snow?
Yeah, just a little bit. Not much.
Really?
It's been
Just a little bit?
Yeah, not very much.
Oh, we got a lot.
Yeah, it didn't even cover the ground.
Yeah, I was out shoveling this morning, and then all of my kids, except Xander, was at school, but the rest of them were at home because Liberty does homeschool. And so they all wanted to come outside, especially Isaac. He was really excited to come outside. And I suggested that they build a snowman, but the snow is too dry, so it wouldn't stick together very well. But even when we were trying that, and Liberty was making snow angels, and Iris was doing whatever Iris was doing, Isaac's only interest was throwing snow at people. That's just him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like my son. My son was more concerned about the snow on the vehicles. Like, oh no, we have to get the snow off the vehicles.
Did he help you do it?
Yeah, but there really wasn't much. So, but yeah, that's his concern. Yeah, we only got a quarter of an inch up here.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, we got several inches. Yeah. I mean, we're like an hour away from each other, but I would have figured we got about the same amount of snow.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, first big snow of the year.
Finally.
But yeah, my son was worried that there wasn't going to be any snow for skiing this year, which we didn't even go last year. So,
well, yeah, I think they make plenty of snow up on the mountain regardless of. So,
yeah, I guess you got the artificial snow.
Yeah.
Like artificial intelligence, which is what we're going to talk about.
That's right.
So on that note, we've been doing a lot with AI for years now, and we're doing a lot with Parallum. And I think for a lot of people that are still getting familiar with AI and its impact on marketing are thinking, so for credit unions and banks, I think a lot are beginning to understand the impact for marketing and for operations, but maybe not fully understanding the impact that it's going to have on the total banking experience and what it means to actually interact with a bank. Excuse me. So obviously, there's the search side where a lot more people are now starting to find products and services by going to AI apps like ChatGPT and Perplexity instead of a Google search, or even they're going to Google and they're getting an AI overview, or they're using the Google AI mode. And that is one of the most prominent things today and a big impact on marketing. But I really believe the impact is going to be much bigger than that. Even from a marketing perspective, what we're seeing is people are not only using AI to search for what they're looking for, but then that means that a lot of times they're not visiting your website at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just don't come to your site if they get the information they need. And we're seeing applications for AI where People can search what they're looking for, narrow it down with AI, and make the purchase in an e-commerce perspective without ever leaving the AI app. And I think it's only a matter of time before more and more functions happen within these AI apps without people having to leave them. And I think it's only a matter of time before core banking transactions and activities are happening via AI. So instead of opening, instead of opening a banking app, so for instance, in our business, we use Mountain America Credit Union for our accounts. In my personal accounts, I use Ally Bank. And most of the time when I interact with either of those, it's through the mobile app, just because it's convenient on my phone. And I think we're going to see AI play a much bigger role in that banking experience in one of two ways. We're either going to see AI be more integrated within those apps, so meaning Ally Bank or Mountain America would bring AI into their apps. I think that's a possibility, but on the other hand, I think that, the challenge there is then that means for Mountain America and Ally, they've got to figure out how to deploy AI into their app in a way that's very effective, right? Versus the other route is you don't bring AI into your app, you bring your app into AI, or you bring your app into the AI app, which is the most dominant one right now is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT now has apps within it. I know this isn't very familiar to a lot of people, but now if you go into ChatGPT, you can enable apps within it. So like there's a Zillow app.
Yep.
So you can interact with all of the data and information from Zillow from within ChatGPT without going to Zillow. There's a Canva app. There's an Expedia app for, you can book or at least I'm not sure if they have the booking part yet for that, but when I was testing it, you can at least get all the information about flights, hotels, rental cars within ChatGPT without going to Expedia. So it's not a big step to imagine a banking app within ChatGPT. So I think there's a good chance that your next banking app will be ChatGPT, or rather a banking app that's built within the ChatGPT platform. So I want to talk more about the ChatGPT app route, but before we do, you do a lot of software development and for our applications, and I'm interested to hear what you think about between those two different pathways, which way you think it might go and why. And I don't think there's a verdict at this point. And I don't know, maybe one will win. Maybe we'll see a mix of both. But between bringing AI into existing banking apps versus building your banking app within ChatGPT or other similar platforms, curious to hear what you think about those two different directions. If you think, like, what are the pros and cons of those different possibilities?
Yeah, I think we'll see an approach that over the next year or so that gains the most popularity, but there will always be sort of like a multi-dimensional experience. Being we will have multiple options, like we've had with the Apple App Store, Android App Store, plus websites stuck around. And so we've always had different options. And I think we'll continue to have many options for how we interact with the companies and the brands that we use, but there will be a winner that captures, you know, many more users than others, like the iOS App Store has done. Or so I think we're seeing that with OpenAI, and they have talked about we're wanting to become the AI everything platform for folks. They want to be the lifestyle AI tool, or the AI tool that's integrated into most people's lifestyle. Yeah, but so they're really set up, and there's a lot of investment for that right now. But there's a big fight. I mean, Google's fighting for the same thing, and long before our time, long before our time, when the browsers hit the scene, it was like Netscape, right?
I remember Netscape Navigator when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, so they were the first to the market that got all the users at first. I think it was Netscape. It could have been one of the others. They didn't end up being the leading browser. So that's what's really interesting about OpenAI, is they might be the first ones to have a majority of the users right now in the day-to-day app or the lifestyle app. But it could very well be that Google or somebody else who is sort of patiently observing really comes in strong and takes over. But yeah, I don't know. Do you see the iOS App Store going away?
Well, I guess the way so to your point, I think I'm probably less interested in, is it ChatGPT versus Google AI versus Perplexity? Because to your point, in Netscape, at least that's the one I remember I'm trying to remember this. This is going way back. So in elementary school, I remember Netscape Navigator. I remember using Google early on, but I don't remember when the Chrome browser came out, but I don't think it was till a while later.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like, I remember when I was in high school, initially MySpace was huge. And then I remember one of my friends telling me about Facebook. I'm like, what's Facebook? And she described it to me as, oh, it's like MySpace, but it's like for college kids.
Yeah.
So you should join. I was like, okay. And then obviously Facebook won. So yeah, I don't think it's a given that OpenAI and ChatGPT will be the winner. But I think regardless of what the platform is, I think there's still fundamentally a distinction between basically is the app something that is the app native to your phone operating system like it is now? So you, like, again, let's just use Ally Bank. So Ally Bank has an app that's in the Apple App Store, and I download that to my phone, versus I open ChatGPT and then I open the Ally Bank app within ChatGPT. It's like there's this layer. Which way does it go? And I think the one of the strongest pros in favor of it going the app within, and I'm just saying ChatGPT, but pick your AI platform, right? The app within ChatGPT is that that's what you get, all of the functionality that OpenAI has built into that tool without having to try to recreate that inside of your own app.
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot with AI and integrating AI into different applications, but there's no just, oh, plug this in and you get all of the functionality of the ChatGPT experience.
Yeah.
No, like they're OpenAI is actually like their API is getting better and better, but the experience that you get with the API and the experience that you get with ChatGPT is different, and there's more that's wrapped around that ChatGPT experience to make it an optimal experience. So I think if you've got your own app, which as first thing is banking apps today are they're user interface based. They're user interface first. And anything they do with AI would be second. It's like strapped on top versus AI first. Mm-hmm. So I think some key advantages if you were to build within ChatGPT is you're bringing your app into an already
superior
like like a world-class AI experience.
Yeah.
Rather than having to try to recreate that world-class AI experience, which is no small feat.
Yeah.
Like most organizations are not going, like basically nearly all organizations, I don't think are going to have the capability to do that. I mean, there's a reason that OpenAI is one of the hottest companies in the world right now, because they've been able to create something that most other organizations can't create.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, I was curious what it would look like if you were to make a banking app inside of ChatGPT, and so I made a prototype that I want to show you. I showed you a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you go into that, though, to answer your question more succinctly, which is, will experiences go into OpenAI's app, or will we integrate AI into all of our mini apps? I think it's as simple as asking, if you do everything in one app and have one assistant in your life that can do everything for you, would you rather have that versus having many different assistants in your life with their limited capabilities that you bounce between, plus a mixture of, will be companies that have no assistant capabilities and you have to continue using their app. So what would you rather have? One assistant that can do everything, or a mixture of multiple assistants plus apps that you still have to manually use?
Good point.
I'd much rather get something done all in one place. And I'm finding that it's painful when I have to leave ChatGPT to go get information or do something on my own and then bring that back into ChatGPT. So in my opinion, we will go to, a handful of frontier models or frontier apps, a handful of apps that people use for everything. And it's only a matter of time. The limitation right now is capability. If I could do all of my banking in ChatGPT right now, I would do all of my banking in ChatGPT, no question.
This is something that we've talked about before, but I wasn't thinking about it right just now in this context, but I'm glad you brought it up, because I think it's a really good point to think about. Do you want to interact with a whole bunch of different agents that you're having to repeat information and they don't have all the context about you? Or do you want the Iron Man Jarvis experience? Like,
that's what we all want.
You just have Jarvis. Jarvis knows everything about what's going on with Tony Stark, right? So
Yeah.
uh, you that to me does seem like a more optimal outcome for AI, because I experience that a little bit right now, and I haven't figured out how to solve this problem, but I have one ChatGPT personal subscription and another ChatGPT business subscription, and I've talked with them about different things, and so they have different memories and things they know, and I'll go to talk to one, I'm like, hey, remember this? And says, no, I don't have any memory of that. Like, okay, must have been in the other one.
Yeah.
Those really need to be merged
Yeah.
into one.
It's like on your phone in the evening, it can automatically go to personal mode. And then when you wake up in the morning, it goes into work mode, and it's all one phone. Yeah, I think Apple's missed this opportunity for 2 decades, where if only Siri could control
Wasn't an
the
idiot.
apps.
A smartphone is a dumb assistant.
The smartphone is a dumb assistant. It knows everything about you. It holds most all capabilities you need in your day-to-day life. It's just not capable of doing much for you. The best it can do is set a timer for the oven, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, so it seems like right now the way it works is like if you have a banking app inside of ChatGPT, then what you do is you go to the Apple App Store and download ChatGPT, and then you have the ChatGPT app on your phone, and then you open that app, and then you open the banking app inside of ChatGPT, which isn't terribly complicated, but it's just like, I don't know, it seems like there's one extra layer there where because AI exists only within the ChatGPT app or the Perplexity app or the Google app, again, pick your app. But I think what's going to happen is AI is going to be at the operating system level. So and I have no idea if OpenAI has any plans for this, but imagine if OpenAI were to come out with their own operating system for a smartphone, then everything you do on the phone is going to be powered by ChatGPT. And then I imagine you'd still, like the App Store today, you'd have a similar App Store where you go and get the banking app, but then it's already within the ChatGPT operating system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it removes that extra layer. And now ChatGPT, every single app is already, it's in the ChatGPT ecosystem.
Yeah.
AI can already interact with all of it. So it's at the core instead of being siloed in an app at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love to think of it like as if I'd had an executive assistant. Really, the only apps I would need are my text messaging app, my phone app, and the way it works with an assistant is probably give them a credit card with a spending limit. They are given login information to all of your stuff, and maybe check in with them once a week, or they call you and say, hey, can we talk about your financial goals for next year? We're coming to the end of the year. So I imagine a world where my agent, ChatGPT, sends me a text message saying, are you free tomorrow at 2? I have, your financial goals planned out. I want to go over them with you, just like an assistant would. And then, get to the point where they help run, take care of so many things, all the things in your life you don't want to deal with. Do you need an app for that? Is the human the app? To me, I just want text, voice, and scheduling. And then, Google released a protocol that is basically they're saying, hey, here's how we think AI agents should be given access to money and sensitive, like passwords and identity information.
Mm.
They've put that out there, so it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and I think part of what you're hinting at, and as I've talked with other people about this concept, especially with using AI for banking transactions, people have been like, "Ooh,
Ooh, scary.
I don't think I would trust ChatGPT to do that." And
Yeah.
on the other hand, I'm like, I've used it for like adjacent stuff, like I would, but I think one of the keys is a lot of people talk about human in the loop. So meaning you have ChatGPT queue up these things and then you still give the final approval. And we're going to see that in this prototype
Cool.
that I made where
Awesome.
uh, I'll ask I'll ask ChatGPT to transfer money or create an account, and it will ask for me to give approval before it actually executes it.
Let's see this. I want to see this.
All right, let's do it. Let me just show first how this is set up. If I go into settings and apps, there are, you can see I've got the Expedia app added here, Google Drive, and then here's the Metrify banking app prototype, which is in dev mode because it's just a prototype. And then if I go to add more and more companies are adding apps onto ChatGPT. So basically what I've done is just make a prototype of a banking app. And in order for it to work, I've got to be in developer mode, which I'm in right now, but you'll be able to see how this works. So here we go. Open the banking app. Send that, and usually takes a few seconds to execute these.
There's your accounts.
There you go.
Wow.
There we go. It just pulled in an interface from my app.
Wow, you can
So I've got 4 accounts here.
Click things.
Yeah. So I can click into everyday checking.
Look.
And it's going to load my transactions. And then go back to the accounts. And then if I want to do things like, let's open a new account. My birthday is coming up in March. So let's say I want to create a birthday savings account and we'll put some money into it. So let's give that a shot. Open a new account called Birthday Savings. And I want you to transfer $740.77 from high yield savings into that new birthday savings account.
That's so cool.
So it should ask me for 2 approvals here. First, an approval to create the account, and then a second approval to transfer the money. So we go create new bank account, birthday savings.
Wow.
Create that.
For anyone who may be listening, I assume we have folks who listen to this, right?
Yeah.
We are
in
ChatGPT and we are seeing.
Right. Yeah, this is one you may want to go to the YouTube video and watch this part. But yeah, to your point, Harmon, go ahead and you're about to describe what we're seeing.
Yeah, we are in the ChatGPT interface that everyone is accustomed to, but we're seeing it's like ultra minimal clean UI widgets pop into the feed, such as an account listing that shows Derek's accounts with the balances. And then when he asked to have a new account opened, there was a new little widget that just was asking Derek to click a confirmation about what was going to be done, but it's all chat based. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're getting I wanted to make a simple user interface around it because I think it adds a feeling of
Hmm.
legitimacy to it versus if it's just all text based, it would function exactly the same, but you could think, well, it's just ChatGPT spitting out text rather than actually creating accounts and
Well,
making transfers.
yeah.
So I like having the interface to it and that you can click into the interface and do different things like see your
Yeah. So
transactions for a particular account like we were
web
looking at
designers
before.
and user experience designers are all freaking out because they think, there's this idea that design is done. There's no need for design. Everything's going to begin happening in these chat interfaces or voice interfaces, but there is need
Mm,
for design. It's just that like constraints are different and the application and context is different. The UI
right.
that we're seeing here is ultra minimal because it can. Uh, because
Hmm.
ChatGPT is taking all of the actions and doing the work for you, the UI doesn't have to have a giant menu with 1,000 buttons scattered everywhere for every operation that can be done.
Right.
Agent can
Yeah,
just
you'll notice the
present
UI
to
doesn't
you only the information that's relevant for the given moment of context in the conversation.
exactly. Yeah, like I just created a new account, but there's no button to click to create a new account. I just ask the AI to do it. And another application I was really interested in is so in our business, every quarter we do profit
Mhm.
distributions, right? As part of we follow the profit first system in running our business. And I do envelope budgeting, which means I've got a whole bunch of different accounts for different things. And envelope budgeting is, for me, it's been fantastic. But what it means is every quarter when we take a profit distribution, I have to manually go into Ally Bank and submit 30 transfers. And it doesn't actually take that much time, but I'm always like, I don't want to do this. And Katie, that's my wife, for anyone else that doesn't know, she's like, have you done those yet? Like, no, sorry. It's just like a tedious little task. And so I showed this on a previous episode that we recorded together. I tried to get ChatGPT Atlas with agent mode to make transfers for me. And agent mode's totally capable of doing it because of other things that I've seen it do, but it just said, nope, this is a banking app. I can't make transfers for you. And I pushed it to see if I could get it to
Can,
do
it's
it.
just not
And
allowed to at this moment.
exactly, it's capable, but OpenAI has said, no, you're not allowed to handle money. And I understand why they've done that. But I was like, because I I'm confident in its ability to do that. And internal transfers is a low risk
Right,
thing. If it gets it wrong, I
right,
just fix it. So that's something I would have total confidence in having AI do
right.
for me. I found that I could get AI to select like the from account and the to account, but then it wouldn't put in a dollar amount in the next
Wow.
field. So it's totally capable. But so one of the things I wanted to prototype here is if I wanted to do a whole bunch of transfers at once that without having to do a whole bunch of individual transfers. One, I can just speak it and just say what I want, but then it would execute all of them at once. So I'm going to show you that now. Transfer $100 from everyday checking to high yield savings, $100 from high yield savings to vacation fund, $100 from vacation fund to Valentine's Day savings, and $100 from Valentine's Day savings to birthday savings. So That's a whole chain of transfers, which is just going to ultimately move $100 from everyday checking to birthday savings, but you get the idea here. So here we go. Execute multiple bank transfers. Allow Match Friday to transfer $100 between multiple accounts. Checking to savings to vacation to Valentine's Day to birthday savings. And if you want,
The
you can
details,
see
yeah.
like details about that. But then
Wow.
we'll do the bank transfer
Look at that.
and might take a minute.
Cool.
So there we go. It says I ran 4 transfers. And obviously, that's not a good example of something you would
Yeah.
actually do, but you do all sorts of different amounts going across all different accounts and just speak it and give your approval for
Yeah.
all of them, and it does it. And I think that's a good example of this is why AI first banking is going to be superior to UI based
Mm.
banking or user interface based banking because uh, I assume Ally hasn't built the ability to do multi transfers like this because a lot of people don't have the same need that I have. But what's so interesting about what AI is capable of doing is that it can write its own code and execute its own functions and do repeated tasks all at once. And the app doesn't necessarily have to be like there's certain functions the app is able to do and not able to do, but the AI is able to take those capabilities and like build on top of them. So execute things that maybe was never intended by the developer. Uh, let's take one more example. So in everyday checking, I've got a whole bunch of fake transactions in here. Let's ask AI to analyze all of these and tell me how I can reduce my spending and save more
That's
money. I want you to analyze all of my transactions in everyday checking and tell me how I can spend less money and save more. This one could take a little bit of time because there's quite a bit for it to go through. It's got to pull the transactions. That's not hard for it, but then it's got to categorize all of them and give me an analysis. Oh, that was a lot faster than I thought. Thanks for trusting me with this. Let's see. Big picture summary. Paychecks, 2,100 about twice per month, stable and consistent. Major fixed costs, rent, utilities, car insurance, credit card payments. Where you're leaking money, eating out and coffee. Largest opportunity. You spend a lot here. Patterns, fast food and casual dining, McDonald's, Chipotle, Panda Express, Taco Bell, Panera, Pizza Hut, Wendy's, Burger King, Subway, Dunkin', Starbucks. One way that I can know that this is fake and not my own is because I don't ever eat at McDonald's. Frequency, multiple times per week, typical spend, $40 to $80 per outing, impact easily $600 to $900 per month. How to fix it? Realistic, not extreme. Cut eating out by just 2 meals per week. Save $250 to $300 per month. Keep 1 to 2 fun meals weekly so it doesn't feel restrictive. Groceries are also high but fixable. You shop at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Target Grocery, Safeway, Kroger. Let's see. Avoid Whole Foods for staples. Use it selectively. So pretty cool that it's able to go through all of the transactions and give a breakdown where normally this is the sort of information that I've wanted sometimes in the past, but there's
no way to get it.
I guess, the way that you'd have to get this without AI is you download your transactions, you pull it into Excel, and then you like go through and categorize them, which nobody who does
if
that.
That happens. It happens once a year. Most people aren't doing that. there have been many apps that have come and go that promise budgeting to solve budgeting for everyday people, and they don't get used. I
Like Mint,
Mint, yeah,
for
Mint,
example. Yeah, that's one that I
Mint.
used
I
to
mean,
use before I
I've been
discovered envelope
just
budgeting.
around it.
Is it not?
Uh, okay, so they got bought by Intuit, and it seems like it's kind of getting merged into books in some way. Mint has been reimagined on
Mm,
Credit Karma. I think it's coming Credit Karma. I'm not sure. If you look at how many
interesting.
people use it,
But
this is one of the things I'm most excited for.
oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There are so many opportunities. Um, it's especially painful right now because life is more expensive than it's ever been. But imagine having an agent that is watching over your finances for you. Imagine
Mm,
just being able to ask your agent to say, "Hey, can you just give me a monthly or weekly uh, safe spend amount?" And there's so many things I think that would happen too. Like if you have an agent that's looking out for your best interest, not only can it help you determine how much it's safe for you to spend in general or within different categories, but it can help you find opportunities uh, to save money and do more with your money. Like if it knows it's paying Google Fiber or Comcast $80 a month for internet and it has access to the internet, the web 24/7, um, it could recommend new internet. There's now a $50 a month
yeah.
option.
Yeah. Or there are all these apps that help you do things like recognize your subscriptions and cancel them. How long will it be before AI is just doing
I
that
would
for you?
that's
Like it's negotiating for you or canceling
that's the
things for you
that's the
that
text message I want to
yeah.
wake up to every morning from my AI assistant that says, "Hey Ryan, I've got some what's on the agenda for me today." Not me as in Ryan, but me
Mm,
as in my agent. Um, Found a way to reduce your gas bill. I found a way to reduce your internet bill. Um, I want to move $100 to this account because um, this musician is coming to town and your wife mentioned that she might want to go see them. Do you want me to do,
mm.
so many missed opportunities for me in my life uh, to do more for my family with my money, get my time back. Um, Lots of things I'd like to sit down and do, but I don't have the time to do that could easily be done, or at the very least, queued up for me, researched, planned, and
Yeah.
then queued up for me.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, it's all queued up, and all you have to do is say,
Yes.
"Yes, let's do
Yeah.
that." Just confirm it, and
Yeah.
then it does it. So you still have the opportunity to say, "No, I don't want to do that." But and I think that's how what we'll see with human in the loop with anything that's sensitive, like with money, is that AI can do it, but it's still going to ask your permission. But then once you give permission, it can execute it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is all right around the corner. Company, the data centers are literally being built to unlock these capabilities. I think we actually already have these capabilities. We just there's a bit of work to be done. But yeah, I'm excited about the future. And this prototype is awesome, Derek. This be one of the first, at least a few prototypes of what banking with an assistant look like. Is it possible to actually hook this up to something like Plaid? Like, could the development on this continue to the point where they these use cases you demonstrated might actually work?
To be
What's
real?
stopping this from being real?
Uh, Probably. I mean, well, I mean, I'm sure this concept could be taken and made real. It's just you'd have to hook it up to actual. Like I just built. I have to pull it up here. I just built an app that this is pulling from, and it's not, it's not a legitimate banking app. So uh, you'd have to hook it up to like a banking as a service solution or like a core system in order for it to be real. But initially I just wanted to make a prototype of what it could look like, and it would still yet to be seen how all of this is going to develop. But I think this is a very interesting concept for what could happen in the very near future.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with all the different apps that I was showing before that are inside of ChatGPT. You'll notice that none of them that I've seen are banking apps, um, but there are more and more all the time. I've got a hard time believing that we're not going to. Oh, well, Intuit TurboTax. That's interesting. Here's Credit Karma. So we're getting some different finance apps in here. Those might be new. I don't think I saw those last time I looked at this. So, I mean, I can't imagine that not seeing some banking apps enter the Chat GPT app store at some point in. Oh,
Ramp.
Ramp
I just
is
found
in
Ramp,
here.
so you can connect your Ramp
So,
account. So giving ChatGPT authenticated access and privileges to manage finances in your Ramp account is possible.
mm,
So this is already
we
possible.
might have to. We don't have a Ramp account, but maybe we got to sign up and
Yeah,
try it out just so we can see
we should.
what looks like. Yeah, automate finance
Yeah,
tasks. Connect your Ramp account to ChatGPT and manage finances through natural
yeah,
conversation. For employees, check card balances, activate cards, add transaction memos, request. There it is. It's already okay.
this is
I didn't even come across this until just now, but this is, yeah, I think this
straight.
is, yeah, version 1.0. This is, yeah, Stripe is in here. So this is maybe one of the first real examples of what we're talking about. I mean, I haven't tried it or to know what it actually does, but uh, at least this description: check card balances, activate cards. That's similar to what I was showing in the prototype with checking balances and creating new accounts. So I think this is right around the corner. Here's something to think about strategically. So if you're a credit union or a bank, how do you approach this? Because I think the default approach for how most credit unions or banks would think about this is they'd think, okay, well, we built an online or a mobile banking app and an online banking app. So now we'll just have a Chat GPT app. And that's legitimate. Uh, but I think there's a risk there where for most credit unions and community banks, yes, they have online banking and yes, they have mobile banking, but not applications that are on par with fintechs. Um, they're typically subpar to digital only banks and fintech experiences because credit unions and community banks have tried strapping on those. They've treated those as like features of their branch-based model. So there's still a branch-based institution that has strapped on this digital service delivery, and a lot of them have got by with that so far, but there's way more growth on the fintech side because they're delivering a superior experience. So I think if you're a credit union or bank and you're looking at this with a ChatGPT app, you could talk about bolting this on as another application, but now you've got your branch-based model, you've got your mobile banking, you've got your online banking, and now you've got your ChatGPT banking. And what are the chances that, because I think we're going to see the rise of AI first banking experiences where it's not, and that's what we're talking about here. It's not something that's, I think we'll see banks or fintechs pop up that only exist as ChatGPT apps. Like there is no non-ChatGPT app. Of course, there's no branch, physical branch to go and visit. It just exists as a ChatGPT app, and that's going to be their whole business model. And they're going to be totally focused on innovating on that front. And what are the chances that a credit union's going to be able to keep up with them? I think not likely at all, because as we've already seen, I said credit union or community bank as well. What are the chances that most financial institutions are going to be able to keep up with an AI first banking app or AI first banking company, let's say, when they haven't been able to keep up with the digital only banks on as far as digital experience? It seems it's the same thing over again. But I think this presents. So I've talked about this in multiple episodes in the past, where first in the last episode, I think the idea of AI first banking actually provides community financial institutions with an opportunity to leapfrog their own fintech competitors, because most fintechs at this point are UI based. They're not AI based. So they're going to be facing some of the same struggles where they've got users that are locked into their user interface experience. And those users aren't ready to go to an AI first experience for various reasons. But I think this is another case where, in conversations that you and I have had, and that I've had with James Robert Lay and with others, episodes that are past episodes, I think serious consideration has to be given to launching AI first banking as a spin-off brand rather than as something that you just strap on to the existing branch-based model, because you keep strapping things on to that model, and it's not going to be the top priority. It's going to be competing with the status quo of the organization, competing for attention in an organization that is still trying to optimize for people visiting branches, which is legitimate. There's still people that want that, but I don't think that's going to be an effective way to tackle this. So that's not to say that a branch-based organization shouldn't have an AI banking app, but if that's their main game plan for survival in the new age of AI, I don't see that panning out
right
over the long run.
Yeah, interesting. Here's a crazy idea. I think we all know what Plaid is. Plaid was made to connect your bank to other apps. It seems to me like
Mhm.
Plaid could just get on ChatGPT.
Mm.
Is, am I crazy to think that basically automatically puts most credit unions and banks on ChatGPT? And
I don't know. Maybe I'm not familiar enough with. I mean, I've used the only thing I'm really familiar with Plaid for is when I'm trying to connect different accounts to transfer money from one to another. I don't. So maybe that's an interesting
Plaid
question.
is the connector. They have most credit unions and most banks um, built into their system so that you can connect it with many other. Like that's how folks connect their bank to Venmo, for example. So Venmo
Mhm.
became the most used peer-to-peer money transfer app. So I can just see if ChatGPT becomes the most used agentic banking interface, that Plaid would be the obvious plugin for that to make that possible. Um, yeah, if I were a credit union, I would
Perhaps
actually be
so.
pretty excited about that. The only downside is you miss out on a little bit of branding. Like,
Mm.
but a credit union
I think the branding would come from you'd still have to
advertised it.
like be delivering like your own app within
No, in
ChatGPT,
this
right?
case, you wouldn't. No, folks would use the Plaid app to do their banking with ChatGPT.
Oh,
And
okay.
then,
That's
much
interesting.
like how many financial institutions advertise that they have Zello, is it Zillow? Ah, shucks. No,
Zillow,
the other peer-to-peer money transfer, Zelle.
Zelle.
So everyone
Yeah.
advertises that they have Zelle capabilities. I think it's not unlikely that we see the same thing happen with something like Plaid and ChatGPT, where institutions could simply just advertise that they have ChatGPT capabilities by way of Plaid. Just like,
Mm. That's an interesting idea. Lots of lots of
mhm.
possibilities, and we'll have to we'll have to keep talking about different possibilities. What I'm thinking about wrapping up here is if I'm a credit union or a bank that's listening to this, where do you go from here? What's the first step? How do you even begin to think about this and tackle this?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking myself, but I'm curious to hear if you have any
You
initial
know, if I
thoughts
worked
about
in the
it.
marketing department at a credit union or bank right now, I would want to put out some resources for members who are already using AI to help them use AI for making for finances. I do it. A lot of people already do it. Um, I'd be just to sort of warm up my organization to the idea, and then help members do more and show that we're forward thinking. So, for example, I would think about putting out maybe an AI resource center for members with different prompt templates or tutorials on how to use agents, skills, projects to analyze transactions. We can already export our transactions and have them analyzed with AI. that can be done automatically. Some things are more advanced than others, but um, that's that's sort of low hanging fruit. That's one thing I would do just to start kind of warming folks up to some of the things that they can do currently while
Mm.
we're waiting for the industry to kind of mature and develop and I I think we're waiting on a little bit of regulation here, some best practices there, but there's a lot that can be done right now in the meantime.
Yeah, I, yeah, to your point, like just taking off just like a small
Yeah.
bite initially. Do what you can do at the moment. I think I would be thinking about what's the simplest chat GPT app that we could build that would do something that is useful, not scary, low risk. So uh, for instance, what if you just built a chat GPT app that could display member or customers' balances and their transactions so that AI is not able to actually transfer money or create accounts or anything, but it can see the balances and transaction data so it can analyze the transactions and give people insights. So there's no risk of um, something bad happening with people's money. It could just be used as a useful tool for analysis, which interestingly you were just saying is one of the things that you're most excited about. Uh, that that I think that's how I would think about it is what could be prototyped to begin with that would be low risk yet useful just to start to experiment and
Yeah.
get in the game. So lots of possibilities. Uh, Thanks for coming on the show to talk about it. I think this is something really interesting to think about. AI not just having an impact in marketing and how people find an institution and choose to work with them, but actually the day-to-day interaction of what the banking experience actually looks like. So
Thanks. That
thanks
was
again.
fun.